It is generally agreed upon that since taking over as CEO of Ford, Jim Farley has done an outstanding job. He is responsible for introducing several profitable new Ford models, including the Bronco, Maverick, Lightning, and Mustang Mach E. Ford dealerships overpricing has undoubtedly been his most challenging obstacle yet. The Ford brand has taken a significant hit because of this, but things are looking up. So today, let's talk about this obstacle and how Jim Farley has made its dealerships bend their knees. Before we can discuss what happened, we must have a good sense of the irony underlying this circumstance. Henry Ford, who started the Ford Motor Company, was firm in his conviction that the ordinary citizen should be able to buy an automobile. His invention of the assembly line made mass manufacturing of automobiles possible at Ford. He set out to make his automobile affordable to the middle class and did all in his power to keep expenses low through efficient manufacturing and minimal employee compensation. Henry Ford took every possible measure to lower the price of an automobile. This means that Jim Farley's action would undoubtedly have his support if he were alive today. Ford's CEO has made it known that he is keeping an eye on excessive dealerships and would not hesitate to reduce car allocations for those who do so. During the most recent earnings call, Farley expressed his displeasure that 10% of the dealer network was charging above MSRP. Barclays analyst Brian Johnson estimated the value of the markups to be close to $3.6 billion, and he suggested a new fixed-rate policy and required these dealers to pay to join a certification to become qualified to sell electric automobiles in the future. The entry-level certification is for the Model E, and Ford predicts that its dealers who go with it will spend up to $500,000 total. However, dealers can sell just 24 EVs each year at that rate, making it a poor investment. Now, the E-Elite model has a yearly allocation of EV stock and demonstration vehicles. However, they'll have to shell out as much as $1.2 million to take the option. The dealership should have at least 2 DC fast chargers, with one set aside for client use. In summary, Ford told its dealer network that it needed to make investments, develop, adapt, and offer new services if it wished to be part of its vision and sell Ford EVs. Surprisingly, 65% of Ford's dealership have agreed to the automaker's stringent criteria for electric vehicles. There are approximately 3,000 car dealerships, but only 1,920 have opted in. Although it has been met with resistance in some jurisdictions, more than half of US dealers have already decided to go to certified elite route. Also, more than 2/3 of US dealerships have committed to selling EVs at manufacturer's suggested retail price, which is an excellent outcome. According to Jim Farley, the move would help the company get closer to its goal of being the dominant EV producer in the country. However, beginning in 2024 and extending until at least 2027, about 1/3 of Ford's dealer network will be unable to sell any completely electric Ford vehicles. Most dealers that said no to the Model E probably reside in less populated parts of the United States. Here, electric car uptake lags behind the rest of the country. There's a good chance they'll regret their decision in 2025 and 2026 when electrification becomes widespread in the business. Unlike its crosstown rival, General Motors, Ford is giving its dealers the option of not selling electric vehicles and instead selling conventional gas-powered cars. Those who sell Buicks and Cadillacs from GM but don't want to make the necessary investments to sell electric vehicles are offered buyouts. Also, in 2027, Ford will reopen the certification application, and even car lots that passed on EVs before now have a chance to change their minds. At an auto industry press conference, Farley said Ford believes EV adoption in the US would take time and wants to offer dealers a second opportunity. Next, he said that the first stage of Model E's development will begin on January 1, 2024 and run through December 31, 2026. Furthermore, He clarified that the dealership's current choice will be in place until the end of 2026 and into the first day of the new year in 2027. And certified Model E dealer status is irrevocable once a business becomes certified. The Model E requirements also won't apply to dealerships selling electric automobiles until January 1, 2024. Now, before we continue, I'd like to thank you for getting this far. And if you want to know more, then make sure to watch this next part. Obviously, there was some pushback since some dealers were unhappy with the arrangement. The Arkansas Automobile Dealers Association has lodged a formal complaint against Ford because of this. The case was later joined by 27 Ford dealerships in Illinois and 4 Ford dealerships in New York. Ford has also received numerous letters from dealers across 14 states. Others, like U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal and state legislators, have voiced opposition to Ford's initiatives. Ford asserts that dealers must agree to a new set of criteria after putting up the money and committing to sell EVs. And some vendors don't like the regulation that says prices aren't negotiable. According to Automotive News, attorney Rich Sox, representing clients in the New York litigation, claims that at least one of the complaints alleges this practice is illegal. According to him, under the terms of the present franchise agreement, every Ford dealer is entitled to sell all Ford vehicles bearing that mark, including the newest electric models. They claim a reasonable share of such automobiles based on market size and sales history. The goal is to ensure that all car dealerships may sell electric vehicles without being forced into one of 3 artificial categories. The words used in this statement align with those in the other lawsuits. The dealer's main complaint is that Ford is blocking them from selling new models, which would put them out of business. Moreover, many people are unhappy with the timing, the high costs, and other aspects of the project. Ford notified the publication to confirm that their updated certification policies comply with all applicable regulations. The option to take part is left up to the discretion of each dealer. They can still sell electric vehicles with less investment but fewer units. Ford's plan to commercialize EVs have been the subject of discussion since the company spun out its EV division Model E. Farley argues that in order to succeed, manufacturers and their dealers need to cut costs, increase profits, and guarantee satisfactory interactions with potential buyers. There are now 3 distinct branches of the Ford company: Ford Blue Oval, Ford Pro, and Ford Model E. And Ford Blue Oval includes plug-in hybrids and standard hybrids in addition to its fully electric Model E lineup. It appears that Farley is not only not trying to eliminate the dealer network, but is actively working to keep it alive. He's aware that it won't be the same and that they won't be able to charge more than the suggested retail price. Sales made directly to consumers have long been viewed as a lucrative strategy by Wall Street experts looking to maximize profits. The standard has been set by Tesla. And despite the lack of service centers, the company's meteoric rise and continuous success in producing and selling their automobile are proof that its business model is successful. Jim Farley is aware that in order to compete with Tesla, Ford must likewise sell its vehicles at a set price. Recently, Jim Farley was asked his opinion by the CEO of Morgan Stanley on what he believes Henry Ford would think of the world today. Farley stated categorically that he is relieved to have landed at this time, as the previous 75 years were nothing but empty calories. The loss of Ford's competitive advantage has put the business vulnerable to disruption, which is something Farley is well aware of. He is optimistic about Ford's future and appears to be willing to make tough choices to ensure the company will still be relevant in 20 years. Ford plans to produce over 2 million electric vehicles per year by 2026 and has budgeted $50 billion to do so. So, what do you think of what's happening with Ford right now? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. And while you're at it, make sure to smash the like and subscribe buttons as well. Now, if you want to know more about the dealership's problem, then make sure to click and watch this video right here and enjoy. And that's the end of this video, guys. See you next time.